Look, I know what you guys are here for. I know what you want to talk about. You've seen the title. I've seen your questions in chat. You want to talk about money. So let's talk about money. So we've got a sponsorship on this video for you guys that I think you're really gonna like. You know how when you're watching a live stream and you follow or you subscribe or donate or whatever, your name pops up on the live stream? And by the way, how cool is that? It's like one of the main reasons we do that. Well, now that kind of interaction is possible on your YouTube videos as well. StreamElements has released a new really cool tool called Mercury that allows your audience to engage with your video in multiple ways. Let me show you the two that I have set up on this video. One is called dynamic video descriptions. You can set things like subscription goals or latest donator, and StreamElements will auto add them into your description and continue to update them in real time. The other thing is something you're looking at right now at the very bottom of the screen, and it's called a shout out generator. StreamElements will automatically grab stats from your channel like this that you're looking at right now, which right now is showing the latest members of my personal channel where I stream on, youtube.com/HarrisHeller. If you're not there watching my streams, what are you doing? Go subscribe, link down below. You choose the options, export the file, and then just throw it in your video editor. It's cool, it's free, and most importantly, it's an easy call to action to encourage your audience to engage and support.
And there's lots of other stuff in there, such as polls, tipping, integration with other platforms. Just make sure to explore.
So check out StreamElements Mercury at the link in the description down below. Dude, this lighting is so dramatic. It looks so good. Dude, when we get to the studio, this is just gonna look so good. There's no shame in this, guys. Nobody starts a business and is like, I'm not in it for the money. Like, you're doing this because you want to support yourself and or your family and or start a successful company live streaming. Obviously, if there's no passion in it, then there's no reason for you to be in this industry. It's incredibly difficult and super competitive and sometimes kind of soul crushing if you don't love it to its core. But it is okay to want to make money. Be okay with that. So Scott and Sam have gracefully laid out a table of contents of this video. These are the general contents of the questions I get most often in chat. Things like, if YouTube is much harder to monetize on, should I stream somewhere else instead? Things like, does Facebook really give 100% of its revenue to streamers? Spoiler, no, and we'll get to that. So let's power through this. Let's see how short I can condense this. We're gonna do some math, we're gonna do some numbers, and I'm gonna lay out the pros and cons of the monetization of every single platform. Let's start. Chapter 1, barrier of entry of the 3 top platforms. Oh, by the way, we're talking about the 3 main streaming platforms, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. I know I'll get a bajillion comments like, what about Brime? Guys, Brime's not a real platform. Stop worrying about it. Focus on the players that are actually playing the game. If someone else pops up and is legitimate in the future, we'll talk about that then. Right now, we're gonna focus on the 3 real ones. But of these 3, how easy is it to start monetizing and how much does that affect your revenue and your career? Facebook and Twitch make it pretty simple. Facebook says stream twice over the course of 2 weeks and make sure it's at least 4 hours and get 100 followers. That's it, then you're monetized. Twitch has you stream a tiny bit more, but still far below what you guys are normally streaming at anyway. And then you need 50 followers and an average of 3 concurrent viewers, which is the one that most people spend the most time trying to hit. YouTube is a little bit different. YouTube requires 1,000 subscribers. That is 20 times more than Twitch requires, and 4,000 watch hours. That's a turnoff for a lot of people. And understandably, if you were to do the exact same thing on both Twitch and YouTube, just stream, it would take you considerably longer to get monetized on YouTube. We'll actually do the math in a minute. It's a ridiculous number. However, a lot of people, dare I say it, take this threshold across all the platforms a little bit too seriously. Let's consider 2 things as a business and put them into perspective. Important thing number 1, how much money are you actually losing during that period of non-monetization? From the time you start making content to the moment they turn on that $sign on your account, how much money would you have made had it been on the whole time? We're just gonna compare Twitch and YouTube because Twitch and Facebook, the bar is pretty much at the same place and their monetization is almost exactly the same. Let's first take a look at Twitch, because if you're using the proper strategies, you're getting yourself out there, you're not relying on raids or luck, instead you're making discoverable content and getting noticed, you should be able to be monetized within the month. This affiliate status was never meant to be a major achievement. I'm sure you take great pride in it, and that's awesome. I support you in it, but it is really meant to weed out fake bot accounts from getting monetized and causing Twitch problems. That's really the whole purpose of it. If that didn't exist, everybody would be monetized. From my experience on Twitch and the research that I've done, a typical streamer will have an average of 2 to 4 times the amount of subscribers that they have concurrent viewers. So for example, if you average 10 concurrent viewers in a given stream, you should have 20 to 40 monthly subscribers. So because you hit that affiliate average of 3 viewers throughout the month, that means you should have roughly 9 subscribers, and making $2.50 per subscriber. If you had been monetized throughout that entire month, you would have made $22.50. We can add in a couple bucks for bits, but I have noticed that as a streamer grows, they're more likely to get bits because people are trying to get their message noticed. So we'll bring it up to 25, just to be fair. Simple enough math to get a good number in there. Let's jump to YouTube though. YouTube is a little bit different because while YouTube's numbers would be considerably harder to get from streaming alone, in fact, let me show you how much harder it would be just because math is fun. Let's just say you are the same streamer on Twitch that you are on YouTube, and you were to average the exact same 3 concurrent viewers that you needed to get affiliate status on Twitch, and you were to stream the exact amount that you needed to get affiliate status on Twitch, which is 7 hours a month. It would take you almost 16 years to hit 4,000 watch hours. And unfortunately, it is 4,000 watch hours in a 12-month period, so that's not gonna work. This is obviously not how you get monetized on YouTube, and it's not how they intended you to get monetized on YouTube, because YouTube also counts your video watch hours, which, and I'm gonna say it again, you should be making. So let's say you make a 10-minute video, which is pretty standard, and each viewer watches half the video, which is also a pretty standard retention rate. Each view is going to give you 5 minutes of watch time, meaning 12 views will give you 1 hour. Multiply that by 4,000, and it would require 48,000 views to reach the 4,000 watch hours. Hold on a second, need the brain to cool off for a little bit. It's been a long time since I've taken a math class. That sounds 48,000 like a really scary number compared to Twitch's numbers. Let me put it into perspective for you. In 2018, December, very last month of 2018, that's when this channel took off. I posted one video that got about 10 times the views of anything else I'd posted, and things took off from there. 4 months prior to that, in August, before there was any serious growth on this channel, it definitely wasn't my job or making nearly enough money for that. I had a full-time job on the side, and I was streaming, and any spare time I had other than that, I was making videos. In fact, that month, I only posted 5 videos. Yet, in that month, on that fetus of a channel, I managed to get 69,000 views and 1,400 subscribers, meaning I would have hit the YouTube partnership requirements in a little over 2 weeks. And within that time period, based on how much I did make that month, I would have lost out on about $75 of revenue. Plus maybe a couple memberships and a couple super chats. Let's say I lost out on YouTube about 3 to 4 times more what I lost out on Twitch, somewhere between $80 and $90. The point of all this math being both platforms are designed for you to be able to be monetized within a month. Which brings us to important thing number 2. Remember how that whole thing was important thing number 1? This is important thing number 2. If your goal is to turn this into a career, into a business, to support yourself, potentially support a family, you're going to need to make more than $25 to $80 in a month. For me, based on where I live and being married, I needed to make about $4,000. That $25 on Twitch would end up being about 0.6% of the way towards the $4,000 goal, and the $80 on YouTube would end up being 2% of the way there. This is why you shouldn't pick a streaming platform based on which one is easiest to get monetized on. Pick a platform based on the style content you want to make, which community you fit in with the best, which platform do you think is going to provide a better future for your business. If your goal is to get all the way up here, you can't get distracted with this. You still with me? That was probably the most complicated part of this video. Definitely the part with the most math, or maths, if you say it wrong. I'm kidding, oh my gosh. Let's talk about one of the next most important things. Definitely the thing that's been talked about the most recently because of Facebook's whole move. Let's talk about revenue splits, because we've all heard the hype about Facebook giving 100% of the revenue to their gaming creators, and dang it, Facebook, I want to give you a win, but I can't because that was a lie and you know it. Come on, Zuckerberg. When it comes to subscriptions, and yes, I know that on YouTube they're called memberships and on Facebook they're called supporters, but we're just going to use Twitch lingo throughout this whole thing just to make it simple. YouTube has a 70-30 split, meaning if someone drops a $5 sub on YouTube, the streamer gets $3.50. Facebook has 0 revenue split here. So you get to keep 100% of that $5, the whole shebang. It's pretty dope. Twitch takes 50%, which is pretty rough. But some Twitch streamers get a 70-30 split, like YouTube. Let's talk about that for just a second. The reason so many people don't know what the 70-30 split is because when you sign a contract saying you'll take a 70-30 split, you're also signing an NDA saying you won't tell anyone you're taking a 70-30 split. You're legally obligated to keep it a secret. I was, but I'm not, as far as I know, I'm not under that NDA anymore. Well, we'll find out, I guess. So I don't know if it's changed in the last 2 years, but I will give you my experience of when my splits changed. My sub split was 50-50 throughout my years of being an affiliate. The moment I signed my partnership contract, my tier 1 subs stayed at 50-50. My tier 2 went up to 60-40, meaning I made $6 instead of $5 on the tier 2 sub. And my tier 3 subs went up to 70-30. It's nice that they give you a higher cut of your more expensive sub. However, I mean, I don't think I ever had more than 1% of my subs being a tier 3, so it just didn't make that much of a difference. When I started vying for that 70-30 split across all of my tiers, it was explained to me by Twitch staff this way. They had concerns and troubles, I guess, with streamers who pushed hard for that partnership status, and once they got the check mark, they breathed deep and they backed off, and immediately their numbers went back down to what they were when they were an affiliate. They want to see you continue that growth past signing your partnership papers. And what they determined that bar for excelled growth to be is holding 1,000 subscribers for a month or two. So after I'd held 1,000 subscribers for, I want to say it was about 3 months in my case, I signed another contract that pushed all of my splits for every tier up to 70-30. And then I promised I wouldn't tell anyone about it. Sorry about that. So there you go. Mystery of the 70-30 splits revealed. Let's move on to bits, or stars if you're on Facebook, or super chat if you're on YouTube. We're gonna call them bits, just for simplicity. YouTube is simple. The viewer puts in a dollar amount in the super chat that goes in the chat into the streamer, and then YouTube takes 30% of it on the back end. Meaning, if you're a streamer and you see a $10 super chat come in, you're actually making $7. Facebook, see, this is where, remember that lie I was talking about earlier? That's where it starts. Because stars work exactly like bits. Each star is worth 1 penny. So if a viewer gives a streamer 100 stars, that streamer receives exactly $1. So Facebook isn't taking a cut. The streamer gets the full dollar amount of the stars. But how much does it cost to buy 100 stars? It costs about $1.30. Do you see the problem here? See, the viewer is in the middle here. They first have to go to Facebook and buy the stars, and then they can give them to the streamer. And because Facebook only takes a cut in that first transaction and nothing during the second transaction, they come out and say, we're not taking any revenue. But as far as I'm concerned, if a viewer pays $1.30 and the streamer gets $1, that's Facebook taking a revenue cut. And don't let Zuck tell you any different. See, Twitch actually works the exact same way with their bits, but they're not coming out saying, we don't take any of your bit money. I don't have a problem with this system. Just call it what it is. All right, are you still with me now? Because now we get to move on to the fun stuff, chapter 3. Because now we get to talk about all the special monetization tools that each platform has that the other ones don't. What makes each one unique? Let's start with YouTube because they just added one this week. Super Thanks were just officially announced in like its first public wave. This again caters to the YouTube ecosystem of having more than just live streams. It's essentially Super Chat, but for videos. If you find a video that you find particularly helpful or enjoyable, you can attach a monetary amount to a thank you message. That'll make it more colorful and visible in the comment section, and YouTube takes the exact same cut, the 30%. Another advantage YouTube has is their ads versus at least Twitch ads. Everyone on Twitch knows that the ad system is just bonkers obnoxious, and you make $0 off of them unless you have 10,000 viewers. I think the most I've ever made on ads on Twitch was $200 versus video ad revenue on YouTube I've made in the $20,000s of dollars in a month sometimes. It's not the same game. This next one gets overlooked a lot because it's on all platforms, but it's selling your own sponsorships or ads. For example, the StreamElements ad that was earlier in this video. But again, what streamers often don't recognize is that sponsorships on YouTube videos pay dramatically more than sponsorships on a live stream. I would say my average month of sponsorships on YouTube is about 30 times more than my best month I ever did on Twitch. That is a real number. And just to point out one more thing that I find really cool, but I don't know if it's an advantage, but on YouTube, you're able to set your own sub prices, and you can even set them up to $100. So if you have fanatics who want to support you and $25 just isn't enough, you can have as high as $100 sub pricing on YouTube and as low as a single dollar. I think you can even get up to 5 different sub tiers and prices if you want. Kind of neat. But we need to talk about Twitch, because I've said it before and I'll say it again. Twitch is the leader in monetizing live streams. I think it's the biggest reason why most Twitch streamers won't even consider leaving for a different platform, is because they know they will take a dramatic hit to their revenue. I knew I was going to, and I did. Luckily, I was okay with that because I have other forms of revenue like sponsorships and stream beats and this YouTube channel. But Twitch is just so dramatically far ahead of monetizing streams with 2 main things. 1, Prime subs, and 2, gifted subs. I want to say probably 60 to 70%. This is all off memory, because once they take away your partnership status, you literally lose access to all your monetization data. Literally, it disappears from your dashboard. So I have no idea how much I ever made on Twitch anymore. I can't get access to it. Really weird of them. But if I were to guess, I would say 60 to 70% of my sub revenue came from Prime subs or gifted subs. The fact that YouTube hasn't made a matching feature for either of those options shows a real lack of initiative on their part in this department. If they really want streamers to move over, they have to add at least one, if not both of those. Facebook actually just added gifted subs in, or gifted community supporters, or whatever it is. However, as of right now, it is only for their partners and it's mobile only. I'm sure they'll add it to desktop soon, because when you're on mobile, Apple or Android both take 30% of the revenue. But it's good to see Facebook coming to the table and adding things like that in to make it a more viable place for people to stream. And chapter 4, this mystery here, just etc. Just a couple other important details that you should probably know. I just wanted to provide some intrigue, that's all. All 3 have a minimum payout of $100, meaning if one month you only earn $70, that rolls over into the next month, and let's say you earn another $30 the month after, that's when you get paid out the $100. And that's the same across all 3 platforms. A lot of people think that if you don't hit the $100, you just lose it. Definitely not the case. And the last one is the payment waiting period, which is how long after the end of the month does it take you to get paid. I still remember it was about 3 years ago at TwitchCon that Twitch announced they'd be going from 45 days to 15 days. That's called net 45 and net 15. So Twitch is at net 15, you get paid out 15 days after the end of the month. YouTube is net 21, and Facebook is net 30. So sometimes it fluctuates a day or two, but you can expect that many days after the end of the month to get paid. And now you're an expert at getting rich on social media. Good for you. I'm proud of you. You made it to the end. Did this video help? If it did, please hit the like button. I should have asked you to do that earlier in the video. If you have any questions that maybe I didn't go over, leave them in the comments down below, or jump into my live streams. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Saturday here on YouTube, youtube.com/Harris Heller. I'll link to my personal channel in the description down below. And as always, happy streaming.